Welcome back to the first episode podcast, everybody. I'm Brian, of course, here with Don and Rico.
Did you shave your face?
I did. Hold on. I had to fix my microphone. I don't know. That was weird. Why is it not registering? How's it sound better now?
I thought Brian was going to say, I had to fix my face.
I hope.
Now
I can't hear you. Wonderful. This is what happened last time. Why is this happening to me?
This is a running
Every
gag
time.
of the show that Brian's equipment
There we go.
fails. Up and
It just like switches it switches the settings without me changing them, and I don't know why it's doing it. All right, anyway, so yes, I shaved my beard off, and then listen to this shit. So I'm shaving, shave my beard down, right? Because I got to keep it, and mainly now because the white hairs are coming out, the white hairs are coming through, and I'm as a beautiful man about town can't have that. So. And it's a dead giveaway, by the way, if you're hitting on high school girls. Dead giveaway. So I'm shaving it off. Then I go to cut my hair in the shower, right? So I have I have a more of a monk cut right now. Because I go in, I have my shaver out, and I'm like, brr, brr, and then I lose my grip on it. It falls down and hits the tiles, which are brand new, and I'm like, no!
Oh, no!
I debated kicking my foot out to catch it, but it was on. So I was just like, it's just going to saw my foot in half.
Yeah, you can hit a vein.
Yeah, exactly. Bleed out. Rico, you're muted. I'll just bleed out in the shower. And for what? For what? But then
it's a new shower. It'd be terrible.
The tiles do not break. The shaver metal breaks. So had to buy a new one. So I look a little shaggy-do right now.
No, it's okay. The high school girls won't be able to tell. They'll just think you're a good-looking monk.
Neo-Nazi.
Yeah. Hey, which of you girls is lonely and emo? Which of you is into cutting? That's my prime market.
I can buy razor blades.
I've got two kids. But if you hear any stomping or screaming, I have my daughter's friend is over, so they're being insane in the next room.
That's okay. It's probably... it's what we're about this episode. It's about girl power.
Girl power. It's all about the MCU. Rico's now yelling at his son to go. He's in Puerto Rico. Tell him to get the hooker. Tell him their age for hookers is 12.
Is that why Rico looks so relaxed? He's in Puerto Rico. He looks.
Yes, I'm finally by my natives.
Did you splurge your hair down with spit? It looks like you have a part just at the very front of your head.
No, it's weird. I was wearing a golf hat for the last 6 hours. I took it off. Maybe I'll put it back on.
It's literally you have a tiny part just in the front of your hair. It's like when black chicks braid their hair, they've got that little fuzz up front.
Cartoon.
I thought Rico was going to get that.
Yeah, now you do.
You know that cut that the Puerto Rican bros get where it's like the Caesar, where it's like combed forward and then cut.
Oh, yeah.
Like
it's just like a little stripe going over here, right up here.
Yeah.
That's my next one. My next due.
Former co-host of a different iteration of this podcast, Odie, had such a severe hair port that I actually think that he got it lasered off, like women get lasering on their armpits to remove the hair. I think he just did that on his hair part so that it would never part another way.
I mean, you just have to move hairs and they kind of make a part.
To get back in.
Oh, Rico, he's letting his 15-year-old son go out into the wild. This is like every plot for the 80s movies I love. This is like the plot for One Crazy Summer. This is like the plot for that movie where the pizza delivery guy gets fucked by a female vampire.
Also the one with the family that rents the lake house and then the boy goes to the town to meet the girl.
That's right. Yeah. Is that John Candy movie?
I think so. I think it's The Great Outdoors. The Great Outdoors.
Oh, yeah. Summer Rental, too.
That's the same movie, isn't it?
I think it has two names.
More or less. Except one is Dan Aykroyd aggressively cracking lobsters. And that's The Great Outdoors. And a bear with a bare ass.
It's got the old 96er is in that one.
Yeah, the old 96er where he eats too much. I always wonder, they got this bear, and they're like, oh, that bear, it's got no ass hair because somebody shot it with a shotgun. And I'm like, your ass hair doesn't just fall off and stay off from that. People have been fucking that bear.
We need to ask the guy who Dick Cheney shoots.
We've got an academic question for you, sir.
It could be. I mean, maybe like the buckshot stays in there and ruins the hair follicles, and now you get a bald spot.
That's what happened to me.
There's only one way to experiment.
Got shot right in the head. Damn it.
Well, it's like, in boxers, they put the head down, it'll break a guy's arm. I figured the same thing would happen with a shotgun. So just put my head down.
At least you're
straight off.
shotgun proof.
Yeah.
So
As long as they shoot me in the very top of my head.
Yeah, you're good. You're safe.
It's like my wife. If I only have sex with her and only poke one part of her cervix, can't get pregnant. I just have to be really accurate with it.
You've missed twice.
You've only failed twice.
Right.
Robin Hood missed a couple times too, guys.
No, but
Hate
it
to tell you.
didn't cost him $100,000 in college a year.
No, but I also wasn't trying to rob the rich to give to the poor. I was just jizzing all over everybody.
No.
Well, speaking of perfect
jizz.
segue.
Hey,
Perfect segue, speaking of jizz, into our first. We'll save Sex in the City for second. Let's talk about Supersex, which our title of this episode is Supersex in the City for obvious reasons.
Wow.
But, new Netflix show Supersex, which is loosely based on the life of super porn star Rocco Siffredi.
That I've never heard of, by the way.
Sure, me neither. First time.
Yeah.
First time.
When they said that at the end, spoiler alert, the show is awful.
What?
Terrible.
Get out of here.
I agree.
Unbelievably awful.
No way. I disagree. I'm going to watch the second episode. I have to see if Tommaso is the guy in the crowd.
It is the guy in the crowd. He already said
one of the worst shows I've ever seen.
Oh, okay. Lay it on us.
And then the kick in the balls is at the end when they said loosely based. I'm like, oh, if it's loosely based, how about you make it interesting instead of terrible? What was remotely appealing about this guy? His life story sucks.
Let me just real quick.
Let
me give a 30-second synopsis of this first episode. It says the first episode of the show Supersex. Hank, go lie down. You're fucking driving me nuts. Go lie down. It's based on porn star Rocco Siffredi, who has a monster cock. If you've watched porn, I'm sure you've seen him at some point in time. It's based on him. It's an Italian.
The Dirk Diggler of Italy.
He is Dirk Diggler. So it's him talking about when he was a kid. The first opening scenes, he quits porn, and then he goes in the back and bangs some chick, and then you see him peeing blood out of his massive dong. And he talks about the heavy toll that porn has taken on him, but how he came to be, quote unquote, Supersex, the superhero of sex. And it goes through his background as a child, family life, his brothers, gypsies that we'll get into this a little bit later, but gypsies that club his brother. Rico, you're muted. And it finishes up at a kind of a cliffhanger because his brother Tommaso goes off and the family doesn't see him again. And at the very last scene, he sees the guy in the crowd at this porno convention he's at that looks like Tommaso. So that's the overall first episode. Now we'll get into the nitty gritty of it.
Well, yeah, the Tommaso character, his brother,
adopted son of a whore, adopted
brother. Adopted son of a whore brother. He is his inspiration. He loves him. And then at the end of it, he gets married, the Tarasso guy, and then none of the family shows up. So that was kind of sad.
It was. Well,
after he just ripped them on the whole dynamic made no sense. The family raised him, yet they hate him. For unclear reasons.
Yeah, they hate Tommaso.
They despise him.
Who's giving them money and food
burned down their home and killed their dog. It was like, well, this is weird. Why do they hate him so much? He came in.
It's almost like they preemptively hated him for taking the Claudio to the gypsy scene where he then had a seizure afterwards. Because I thought that was weird how the brother died.
They've got this son, Claudio, who's in a motorcycle helmet all the time because he's basically retarded. And it's because gypsies in Italy apparently just run around clubbing children in the head.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah,
and they don't get in trouble?
I guess gypsies.
Gypsy law, baby.
They didn't seem particularly...
They have cashless bail. They have cashless bail in
They see the same gypsies later, and they're just like, oh, you brought the kid we beat almost to death around.
Yeah, that was awful.
Yeah, and then the kid has a seizure, and then he dies later.
Yeah, that was sad.
Weird.
They killed, it's like, I will say this. It was refreshing to see them kill off the quote unquote moron that these gypsies had made mentally handicapped rather than a dog. You know what? I'm so sick of people getting motivated by dogs dying, like John Wick style. it's nice to see them kill off a mentally handicapped child finally to motivate somebody into going into porn.
Well, I mean, they've done other deaths like a parent or a caretaker. So I guess it's time, they've progressed.
But it was interesting.
Right.
It
Why
was
do you
not
say that?
interesting. It was
I
a
think it was
terrible
interesting.
show.
I had to watch it.
I
was so angry that I had to watch the show. I was
You're
watching
fucking
American
bonkers.
Dad while I was watching the show.
He had to
That's what it is.
watched and love watched at the same time.
I enjoyed it. Look, it goes in. The guys,
you're a freak.
It talks about he's grown up in Italy. It's like watching The Godfather 2 when it flashes back to his time in Italy. You got this family dynamic. He's in love with Lucia, who you get to see naked with Bush, and you get to see her full bare vag. So bonus there. What's not to like there, Rico?
I didn't know that they would show straight up slit action. You're like, whoa.
They did.
Yeah,
and she was very attractive.
You're like, Europe shows it all. That's pretty crazy.
Why did Tommaso get so angry when they told him that she was a slut? He probably knew.
So yeah, Tommaso's the prime chick in town is named Lucia, and everybody wants to bone her. And supposedly, they
she's
talk about her that she's a whore. And then, little Claudio, who turns into Rocco Siffredi, he goes and sees that she is in fact whoring it up with the delivery boy, and older brother Tommaso goes and beats the crap out of her. Of course, his mother was a whore, so he's very sensitive to people being called whores.
How does the young porn star gain access to the sex room that the woman's in? Does he just let
left the door
in?
open as you do when you're having sex.
They're all just living in the sex apartment, and they all just come and go and out of the room. How does he know how to get there?
They're all in public housing, and I think the number one rule of public housing, and I have to check the legal statutes of this, is that you have to leave the door open at a crack if you're fucking. I think that's built into it. You trade the low rent and the welfare payments for at any point in time, a small child can walk in and watch you bang.
Well, it's the only way you're going to generate a porn star and let him leave poverty. So
that's what our entire system of ghettos and Section 8 housing has been designed for in the United States, is to create a porn star that can rival Italy.
I don't know why they're
playing the long game.
Let's stack them. No spread out.
We're gonna get a big dong in here. Hank, go lie down. You're driving me nuts. Go lie down. Go lie down.
Here's what I took from it. The first thing I thought was, why is the origin story of a porn star have so many children in it? And I thought it was a really creepy. There's too many kids. It's a sex story with children in the beginning. It was very odd. I felt that was weird.
Yeah, but he didn't have sex with him.
No. But they do show that.
One of them.
Wait, they do show the older whore of a son embracing the young boy a lot in spinning ways on the beach and
the weirdest.
That was really odd. You got to say that was weird. The way that they're showing the embrace between the full-grown male, and
the weird
boy who's going to be a porn star.
Tommaso, who's not his blood relation. Yeah, Claudio, who turns into porn star. He's lying on his stomach.
Angles. There's the sunset in the
back. Whatever. But, when they're lying in bed,
this is creepy.
Hold on.
This is creepy filmmaking.
Let me tell the people what
borderline
happened. Let me tell the people what happened. So, little Claudio loves his older brother Tommaso, who they're not related to by blood.
Pedophile
so it would not be incest if they did fuck. Just saying, Tommaso. They have a scene where Claudio, who's 7, is lying on top of Tommaso between his legs, on top of his, I don't know, underpants crotch.
Somebody's masturbating
that's not comfortable.
In the background.
Yes, and his older brothers are jerking off in the background. And Tommaso's like, do you know what they're doing? You know what they're doing?
That is terrible. That is terrible. That's what I'm like. This is not cool.
Rico, stop working.
Jacking off.
Unmic your mic. I see you.
And you have kids laying on.
I hate this show so much.
It was terrible. It was awful.
But you love masturbating.
Just text me when it's over.
Rico, you have to talk about it. He's got a superpower. It's called Supersex. Little Claudio gets a magazine thrown at him called Supersex, right? And that's how he gets inspired. Why did they throw
this magazine out there? Then he ripped it up, but it still exists. He ripped it up, he threw it away,
ridiculous.
And then
the gypsies
someone else
puzzled it back together.
How was it whole again?
It was amazing.
The worst. It's the worst show.
It was the technical dream code of jerking off. I know.
Oh,
It made no
Jesus,
sense. So
so
at one
much.
point, Claudio dies, right? He has a seizure and he dies. And the mom tells little
Didn't have to be
future porn
involved
star.
in this plot anymore.
I don't know.
Claudio's the
so-
best actor on the whole show.
He was.
That kid- that
Claudio
kid's
looked like
going-
Rico watching the show,
Clarico.
just staring with dead eyes and an open mouth
I
and
was
tongue hanging
hoping
out.
gypsies would come beat my skull in, so I didn't have to finish it.
Rico, I'll
Yeah.
do that for you.
Or
Just let me know.
stretch your dick.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get to the dick stretching. So, but he rips up the porno, and because his mom, when Claudio dies, his mom is like, he was a saint, and you have to be a priest, and you have to be good too, and you can't, no girls. And he's like, okay, mama. And he tears his porno up and throws it off the balcony, and somehow all the pieces in the middle of the night are put back together. Somebody like tapes them all together and fixes it, which I don't think they had Scotch tape, by the way, back in those days.
They couldn't put Humpty Dumpty together, but they could put together a 25-page porno comic
Perfectly.
strip.
Perfectly.
Wonderful. Yes.
And then, so the little kid,
And that was
he goes-
laminated, by the way, because it was all taped back together. So it's
Oh yeah, that's actually perfect. Perfect for jerking. Yeah, man, that's easy clean, easy wipe. So he, at one point before he tapes this thing back together, or Tommaso, his big older adopted son of a whore brother, buys the tape back together version. He goes to fight the gypsies because one of the gypsies has a page of his porno he tore up. And
He
at
was
that
about to
point in
become
time,
like a priest. And
Yeah,
then
then
his
he
friends
said-
like, these guys had the magazine you just ripped up and threw away. And he's like, I can't tolerate this. Like,
not
you
under
just ripped it
God's
up
watch.
You just ripped it up and threw it away. What
That's
do you
my
do?
masturbatory magazine.
Yeah, if someone else is jerking, that means you're not jerking to it. That's a good thing for you. So he goes to fight the gypsy, and they're all bigger than him. They gather up and hold him down, and they're like, "Let's stretch it."
No,
And,
they go. They
all-
take his pants off
well, they take his pants off
because
they
the
can't
show's
stretch
not
it.
weird enough. You need a bunch
yeah, it
of
got way weirder.
boys holding another boy and then stripping him down to his
it's
pants,
the gay,
and then
look,
yanking on his ween.
It's the gay dick gypsy stretch club, and number one rule of that is you don't talk about gay gypsy dick stretch club. But you can make a TV show about it. So they gather up this kid. They stretch his dick out, which I don't even know. They just all it took turns pulling on it and snapping it back, I guess.
Honestly,
And,
if that was a way to get
worked.
everyone's dick bigger, then
It
we would
worked.
have known that by now.
But then
I
they
mean,
said it didn't actually do anything.
yeah,
well, his
no.
Tommaso said it's going to give him the biggest dick in town. And look, if you've seen Rocco Siffredi in porn, he has a giant fucking hog, man. It's massive.
And you think it's from the gypsy tug?
Yeah.
All right.
Why else? We're talking about superhero origin stories. He's got this massive wang. If there's one part of the story that's true, I hope it's that part of this loosely based. I hope it's that
So
part.
that's the equivalent of him getting hit by
It would be-
lightning.
what
or
if that was
some
the
other
only
way
part of this
getting
entire thing that's
superpower.
true? He's like, that's the only part that's true is people of gypsies tugging my dick and stretching it out.
Well, I would
Why
imagine
did
a lot
they
more
make
people
this
would
show?
start
Is this
tugging
guy
their
like
dicks.
Is this guy like a compelling human being?
I don't.
Why did they make
not,
this show?
as far as I know, he's just a guy that has a big dick and bones chicks.
I think he's
That's all I know
famous-
about Rocco.
I think he's famous in Europe, and that's why this was a show that came out in another language, and then it got translated to the U.S.
Well, it's crazy. Like they have the convention and they're all like gathered around and clapping and screaming. And one girl's like, I came just to have sex with you. And that's when he, pees blood. And also his brother is like, hey, you just have to relax your balls now. And I was like, that's good advice for any time. That's all
Yes.
the time good advice. Hank, go
Right.
lay down. I swear to God, I'm going to kill you.
I'll tell you though, the last person you want giving you that advice is your brother, though. It's like,
Better than your mom.
Weird family.
well, no, you don't. No family member should be giving any family member advice
Any
on their
ball
balls.
advice?
Yeah, it should be from a doctor or a professional prostitute, and that's it.
Well, I didn't know. Can you come so much that your balls bleed?
I guess
That
we're
seems
gonna
like a
find
bigger
out.
problem. I feel like they're going to say he has ball cancer or something, and he's like knocking around that tumor. Like, hey, stop knocking that tumor, buddy. It's not how you
Yeah.
fix
Dead?
that.
Is he alive? I don't
No,
know.
he's alive. He's alive.
Yeah, he had to
Rocco's for
sign
sure
off
alive.
on this project.
This loosely
He had
based
to
story.
he had to green light this Netflix.
Yeah.
Must be really hard up for money if they made this
His-
piece of shit.
I'm watching it.
It's
I'll
terrible.
watch this. I don't know. I enjoyed
There's
it. I'll
no
watch the
way
next
you're
episode.
watching this whole.
I'm going to watch the next episode and see what happens. It's got
I wonder what
nudity.
he got on.
It's got
like
it's got
IMDb.
crazy stories.
For once,
It's got
I'm not
7.2,
saying.
I think.
For once, I'm not
7.2.
saying I'm going to watch the next episode.
Oh, you're terrible. Well, you know what? I will say this. It was funny. There was one scene, just one last note on this, because he talks about how there's this whole monologue he has. He's like, when I was a kid, I knew I was going to be a superhero called Supersex, and sex was my power because they talk about sex is electric and it runs everything in the world.
Oh, yeah, it's an explosion in your pants.
It's an explosion. So then he talks about, he goes, when he's doing this monologue, he's like, but all superheroes, your power only comes when it's needed and inspirational, right? And then it just cuts to a scene of cows in a field, and I'm like, oh God, is this guy gonna fuck some cows right now? Is that how he finds his superpower?
Yeah, that was weird too. Like, what is?
It is weird. It's the whole European style of filmmaking. It was different to watch. We're used to a different type of progression. Over there, they're like, yeah, here's boys, here's girls, here's a wiener, here's a cow fucking.
I feel like Roman Polanski's going to have one of these episodes under his belt as a director.
There's a reason why people don't move to, Europe to be movie stars. Their movies suck.
I don't know. I think check this out. In like Romania, I'm probably a solid 10. I could probably be a movie star there.
You just, but you have to learn Romanian or whatever the hell they speak.
Do I? So what do you give it? All right, what's your grade? And then we'll move on to Sex and the City.
This is for me. It's a must miss. Don't watch it. It's weird.
You wouldn't fep off to this?
No, impossible. They try to save it with the girl. She's gorgeous, but it's too much male and too many boys. It was weird. It's awful.
Rico?
I don't know. I wasn't listening. What were you saying?
Don't have a great, wonderful, awesome, good job. Glad to have you on the show. What grade do you give it, you alfalfa-looking dick?
F minus.
I have
the
your
worst
balls
show
played,
I've
Rico.
seen in forever. I can't.
It was only a half. Oh no, it was 45 minutes, I guess.
It was awful. He's right. Go ahead.
I thought the next show that we're going to talk about was the worst show I've seen in a long time. And this one was double the worst.
I didn't think Sex and the City was that bad.
Oh,
I thought it was great. I'm just kidding. I loved it. I loved it.
I had so many issues with this stupid fucking show.
Are they all Sarah Jessica Parker somehow being found attractive by men in New York?
She might be.
Issues 1 through 80.
Well, she definitely wasn't the least attractive main cast member on the show.
No, she was not. All right, let's transition to Sex and the City, because everybody calls it Sex and the City. It's not. Sex and the City. Yeah, catchy. You got Sarah Jessica Parker. You got Kim Cattrall, who is older but still has a hot body in this and shows her titties
Still
a lot.
hot.
Not in this episode. You've got the chick who plays Charlotte with the brunette hair. Don't remember her name. Hottest cast member. And then you've got whatever the hell the redheaded thing is, which I think is Rico's objection.
She was 20 years ahead of her time. She's like a she. What do you call it?
A shim? Are they?
Is she a lesbian now? Or?
Yeah.
She is a lesbian. And what's funny, in the show, I wrote this down because I thought it was hilarious.
She's a she-him.
Miranda, who is the redhead gal who also ran, hold on, what's her name? She ran for public office last cycle.
Psych. Nobody
Miranda,
wants
she's
the
super
real
annoying.
world?
In the real world, she ran for public office.
Oh, gosh.
And lost. Cynthia Nixon. So Cynthia Nixon, I wrote down, it's funny because she goes, well, you know what? Yeah, like all these guys that are like, they're interviewing them and they're kind of looking at the camera, which is weird. It's kind of like Peep Show, but not done as well. And I think they abandoned that later on.
They did. I kind of
right?
like that format. It was like a, it almost reminded me of that show
booth,
that,
like
like HBO had that weird show with the cab.
Taxi Cab Confessions.
Yeah, so it kind of reminded me of like HBO only leaned into what it knows, where they're like, oh, we're doing Taxi Cab Confessions with a girl that's writing a column, but they were really going back and forth with that whole confessional
look into the
booth.
camera and then and then the back. So real quick before you get off Miranda here. So there's this thing, the guy looks at the camera, he's like, why can't these women just marry a fat, ugly dude and shut up? And then Miranda's like, I don't like these guys. They're too annoying. And then I was thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? At the end, Miranda, in real life, Cynthia Nixon, did end up with a fat, ugly dude. But she just happens to be a woman. because
Which
if
one's
you've seen
Miranda?
her,
good-looking
Cynthia,
one?
I'll show you. No, Miranda is the redheaded one.
Oh, the
So
horrible.
she's with
Who's
the heavy
awful
set
looking,
guy now.
awful looking. And let me
And
show you a picture of her and her wife.
In all fairness, she's not awful looking. They just
she
cast
is.
her to be
She's
the
not.
most
Cynthia Nix is not good looking.
the most
Neither is Sarah Jessica Parker.
unfeminine. She's supposed to be an unfeminine looking.
There's nothing attractive
woman.
about her.
She
appearance,
Cynthia
her
Nixon's banging
personality.
dudes. She's not supposed to be a feminine and unattractive woman. She's just that's her.
I'm saying
that's who she
in the-
married. That's who she married. She married the chunky redhead kid from The Sandlot.
Dude, she married an
As a woman.
She married an Oompa Loompa, is what she married.
Is that a real
terrible.
picture? Someone went out looking like this?
Oh, this is
that's
the
not
best
real.
picture. This is the best
Is
picture.
that
of
is
these
she
two.
married to a man or a woman? No.
It is a woman that.
Oh, that's a
looks
woman that she's married
quite
to.
a bit like a man. That's the best picture.
Oh
of them. Let me
shit,
find-
dude! I thought that was a dude.
Let me find other ones. Let me find this one. It looks like she married one of Ron Weasley's throw-off brothers.
I thought it was like a Weasley.
No, there you go. That's that. Then let me find the Weasley picture.
guess
There. Look at that. How can you say no? How can you say no? Look at that haircut. What the fuck is that haircut?
I'm imagining
Even for a lesbian, that is a horrible haircut. Inexcusable. Are you a lollipop kid?
That's
What
not
the
a
fuck is
good-looking male or female human.
It
I
looks
wonder
like it looks like you
like-
killed him. It looks like you killed one of the monkeys, dyed his hair red, and then glued it to your scalp.
It looks like she's posing with somebody who won a contest to be next to a celebrity.
Yeah, right.
What is going on there? Is she a
remember-
famous comedian or something? Is that her
No.
thing?
No.
She have money?
I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to talk
was
about things in
wondering.
a judgmental tone. So anyway, back to the show. Miranda's just awful. But it starts off, everybody knows the plot of Sex in the City. It's Carrie Bradshaw is a writer in the city documenting sex. She calls herself a sexual anthropologist, which is a good line. And then I like that at one point she meets Mr. Big, which I didn't realize she meets Mr. Big, who, having watched this series later on with various women throughout my life, but never my wife, oddly enough. Never watched the show with my wife. Yeah, thank God for that. So the Mr. Big is this character that keeps coming back around, and Carrie can't quit, right? Sarah Jessica Parker.
That
can't
represents a wiener in every woman's life. A guy that keeps coming
Yeah.
back. And
Yeah.
for most women, it's not a rich guy. It's just just the first guy that boned him. But for her, it's a rich guy. Yeah. You got to remember, this is all symbolism for how girls feel.
Yeah. Well, she meets him because they run into each other and she drops the shit out of her purse. And he helped her pick it up, which is different from what I do, which is to get close enough to them that when they pick their heads up, it hits me right in the dick.
No rich asshole helps
Get that glance.
a dumb woman pick up her shit because she dropped it. They just keep walking.
Speaking of rich assholes, so the guy who takes the attractive one on a date. It's the most absurd thing
Charlotte.
I've ever seen in a TV show. Charlotte, yes.
It was awesome. Are you kidding? What a baller. I know it's awesome.
I like that. Yeah, of course. He's going to go back to the club after.
Tell the story. Tell the story what happened.
Cab. So she's playing hard to get. They kiss a little, and she's like, "Oh, I have to go. Can't do you tonight?" She doesn't say that second part, but he's like, "All right, well, I'll get you a cab." He gets the cab, and then he's like, "Oh, wait a minute. Let's share a cab because I'm going to go get laid before they're going to drop me off at the club to go get laid at, and it's on the way to your house." I'm like, what?
Well,
it's
ridiculous.
They should
have told him what he was doing.
There should have been a baller stamp on the show. Baller.
Yeah, fucking A, right. What a ball. That's what I did. I said, what a baller move. After the girl turns you down for sex, you flag her cab down and make her stop. Ask her to drop you off at the club on the way to her house. And then, but his mistake is telling her that he's trying to get fucked that night. What you should have done is like, a friend of mine's ODing at the club. Right?
Yeah, no one would do this. I mean, is this supposed to be like semi-realistic show? Because no one would do that.
It's loosely based on the life of Carrie Bradshaw.
Rico, we got to go back though. It's early. It's like 1999.
Is there only one cab in the city? I don't think so. Like as soon as that cab goes away, there's another one driving by. You're like, I'm rich. I don't need to share
but they
the
can
cab
split.
costs.
Hey, Rico, he didn't get rich paying for whole cabs.
And you also roll
not-
the dice. He's like, I've heard this move. I'm gonna do it with this one because I got nothing to lose.
Well,
and there's no
also,
internet.
maybe she would be like,
Yeah.
"What? You're gonna go out again? You know what? I am gonna fuck you because that's how women work."
It's the world before the internet.
But then he didn't. He boned the one with gonorrhea.
He boned Kim Cattrall. Good for him, and she was happy about it. She was like, "Excellent." Like the. By the way, you know what the most unrealistic thing in this show was? It's bringing somebody home, and I guess maybe in your youth you'd do this, but not as an older man. As an older man, if I was a rich 45-year-old man and I bring a skank home from the club, I'll tell you what I'm not doing right away after she's been in that club dancing. Yeah, I'm not going down on her right away.
That's disgusting.
You're going, how about you go shower? Number one, how about you get that cheese out of there? My cheese grater is for cheese, not for pussy. Go get in the shower, and then let's continue this. And I'll get it with you. I'm not saying that I would not also be dirty. Let's go. Let's all shower up here. Let's get at least a rag with some soap.
Yeah, group shower. That's a good time. Maybe you don't need to go straight to downtown licking. You could just. But if you just had sex with her and then got in the shower afterwards,
dog just jumped up and hit the table with his entire body.
I like it.
Yeah, who goes straight to downtown to begin with?
And what is he trying to prove? You already got her in there. You go into that's disgusting. Yeah.
Well, earlier Carrie also she's talking about how women. She's like the whole concept is like, oh, women should fuck like men, like no attachments, no whatever.
That's the whole premise of the show.
Yeah, well, early on anyway, it's the premise of the show.
Yeah,
so early on, she finds a guy in a bar that she's banged many a time. She goes back. She's like, hey, let's meet up at your place. And she's like, lets him go down. Again, who are these men that are just randomly like, you know what? I'm going to go down on you right away ASAP. Fine. I don't mind going down like a good puss.
Again, remember, it's a fake show. It's designed to make it seem like like we're in this reality that guys are trying to go down on women all the time.
Right. Yeah, it's in this fantasy world. So he goes down on her and makes her come by eating her out. And then she's like, I got to go back to work. And he's like, what the fuck? But then he realizes that's what he does want. But Carrie realizes at the end of the show, it's not what she wants.
Oh.
She can't just fucking forget like a man. She's got to love like a lady.
Which means I got to eat you back.
Not a wine.
So my question when I was watching the show is like, why do women like the show? Why do women in relationships like this show? Because it's really for women who can't get a partner, right? Because it's like you said at the beginning, they're all bitching like, oh, there's no good men. Like rather than just looking in the mirror and saying, one, you're ugly. Two, you're a bitch. That's why you don't have a boyfriend. Why do girls with boyfriends like this show? Because you're like, oh, I don't relate to her because I'm not ugly and I'm not a super cunt to people who are trying to talk to me at a bar like Miranda was. She needed to be backhanded by that doofus guy. Like, what is wrong with him? Why are you trying to impress us?
Rico's playing by Puerto Rico. Rico's in Puerto Rico. He's playing by the local Puerto Rico statutes of you can hit a woman if she needs it rules.
I like the Sex and the City version that Puerto Rico and Rico have written. It's like
a lot of backhands.
Yeah,
it's like every movie with Burt Reynolds. immediately slapping somebody.
Just a mustachioed guy goes, "Shut up, idiot!
Shut up!"
Because that's what that show is. It's just a bunch of womanly thoughts about what if girls were in power and guys were.
Look.
It's all about the reversal of the roles, and it
is, but I respect the fact that they'll like, oh, women, feminism, we should do this, and like, you know what? Do we really want that? Do we really want to fuck like men and forget? And they're like, no, I like that aspect of the show.
Exactly. Nothing happened. It's like the Barbie movie. They did it, and they were sad.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought Rico was going to go with the angle of why do women watch this show because it's got so much female nudity in it. It's not like they're flashing dicks. This is old HBO. It's not like Game of Thrones where they're like, here's a dick every 2 seconds. it's all hot female nudity. If there's going to be nudity, it's going to be a good-looking woman that's showing her tits. And I'm surprised that so many women are like, "Yo, I'm into this. I want to see some boobs."
But
I think that maybe they're relating it to a point in their life where they were single, and they're like, "That's why I was single, because men are fucking assholes." Not because I had a flaw at the time that
not because I kept letting them go down on me when my pussy stank like a cat rotting in a dumpster from straight from the club.
I will.
Why didn't he call? Guy wakes up the next morning, he's like,
burns.
He's got no lips.
I liked it. Sex in the City, I think, was greenlit by dudes that wanted to make girls think they should do more sex with men.
Why did they cast hotter women?
It doesn't matter. They just figured out that guys are going to be like, "Hey, let's make a show about chicks that like fucking dudes."
Kim Cattrall's hot for her age in this. She's like, she was probably 40 in this.
I mean, she does give out like
her body's still hot.
Ran through 1,000 guy vibe in the show, so maybe that's a good acting prowess of her.
She is good at that, yeah.
And oddly enough, she's the one that refused to come back for the Sex and the City movie. She's like, or the show, they brought it back as a show, and she's like, "Nah, fuck you, whores."
She might be too old at this point. She might not look.
They're all too old at this point.
Yeah, but they all want money.
Sarah Jessica Parker was too old to play an attractive woman in New York at her age.
All right,
and face and overall everything.
I grappled
Very
with
unbelievable.
that. I watched that. They have her dressed in, I guess, the cutest clothes at the time.
Her body wasn't bad. Look at this. Look, her body wasn't bad.
But it wasn't.
It's terrible.
She looks like her body's like every other woman, and her face is like every other woman. So that's what makes it hard to.
Is it? I would. Okay, honestly, Sarah Jessica Parker's face, I would put at the lower 50% of female faces in the world.
Well, how many?
I'm not being flippant. I honestly don't think. I think she's less attractive than half of the women in the world, for sure. From face, yes, for sure.
But you're not interacting with that many women in the world. I'm not saying anybody is. It's just
I just have to look. I can see their heads, Don, when I walk around.
Bottom.
We don't live in a Shia society where they're wearing fucking face cloths. I can look and see women's faces,
so
and I know what they look like.
Out of every woman's face. Well, I'm just being
I agree. I think
she's not good looking.
50% is being generous.
Man, she's got a nose. She looks like you took my nose and stuck it to a woman.
Owen Wilson with a wig.
Yeah, exactly. She 100% is Owen Wilson with a wig.
Is Owen Wilson in above the 50% of good-looking dudes, or is he in the lower 50? Because I think you just elevated.
Well, there's a lot of ugly dudes out there. There's a lot of real ugly dudes. I'd put Owen Wilson in the 60th percentile.
There you go. He's better looking than you would rather fuck a chick that.
But he's got
like
personality at least.
He's got charm. That kind of.
Yeah.
He's got an aura. He's got the Owen Wilson just like cool vibe. That offsets it where it's like
no aura.
Well, when he tried to kill himself, a lot of that aura leaked out.
Parker has an aura. She's got an aura. She's a famous woman. You don't think you'd fall into the aura? You saw her, you wouldn't be starstruck.
She looked cute in Hocus Pocus, but that's mostly because she was super young and they pushed her tits way up with that bustier.
Yes.
That's the only time I've ever gotten a half bone for Sarah Jessica was in Hocus Pocus.
All right, well, we'll take it. She'll take it, I guess. She'll take that half bone. Give me that half bone. She'll say, "I'll ride it like a witch broom."
Yeah. By the way, I will say one thing about this show, which I appreciate throughout it. This is where, in our modern culture, everything with gay and trans and all this shit is shoved in your fucking face so hard and brutally and unfunnily and uncreatively and just inorganically. You just get angry when it happens. This show organically just has kind of like, oh, this drag queens, whatever. There's her, the gay guy friend, but it feels organic to the show and it's well written in characters that you're like, all right, it's kind of fun and funny. It's like, cool. I have no objections to it. And it reminded me how shitty writers are today and how shitty every show is today when they try to like shove this crap in your face because all of it seems inauthentic and to prove a point rather than just like, here's relationships, here's likable characters that you can enjoy, gay or straight or trans or whatever the fuck they are.
You had me until you said likable characters.
You didn't like
think
gay guys?
anyone-
See, I
I
like.
hate them.
Well,
Oh, he was fine, but he was not a central character. He was like
no. Well,
on
no.
the show for a minute.
He's in the show throughout the whole
No.
thing, though. So again, I guess maybe I'm kind of weighing it because I've seen more of the show than you have. But it's like, but was it inorganic? He wasn't unlikable. He wasn't like, hey, let me just say, nice to sit down with you, Carrie. Gay rights. You know, like it was organic. It's like, oh, he's
If
a
that
person.
happened, I would laugh.
He's like the
What?
character that she
No.
chats with to make sure. Right, she's like, "Oh, I'll check in with my gay character, and then it's fun for the show."
Well, it's like, well, look, it's great to have characters that are gay, you know, in shows as long as they're not pushing an agenda and just seem like they're airdropped in there like refugees from Africa into Sweden.
I know what you're saying, Brian. It's like, here's a
have it be
character.
normal.
They're like, oh, conversation between main character and new character. And then new character goes, oh, and by the way, I'm trans and my parents hated me and I'm a runaway.
Right, yeah. That's like the new way they write things.
Right,
now.
exactly. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
I had to dump it all in there, cover all the bases. And now
Carrie, you won't believe it. I was denied my hormone treatments because of a Florida governor. They're like, okay, well, let's...
Did they explain why these people are friends? Because I wouldn't have been friends with them. I don't know why anyone would be friends with each other. Like, they don't bring anything interesting to
the Rogues Gallery. They have to be friends.
Do
It's
they
New York
meet
City.
in,
You're
like,
up till 4 a.m. You have a lot of hours to fill. You need a lot of friends.
And they're probably gonna they'll visit that.
daters.
She's probably friends with one of them from college, another one from, Mary Kay, and the other one from when they sold Tupperware. It's all the stuff women do.
You know what was ridiculous? I meant to bring this up. So, me and Jordan
gotta laugh at it, Brian. Not bad.
That was a funny line. That was the funniest thing you said in many an episode.
So we went to dinner this
your friends.
evening, and we walk into this restaurant, and we're like, wait, what's going on here? It was completely empty on one side of the restaurant. The other side of the restaurant, there was like 7 tables completely full of drunk women painting. And
nice.
Oh yeah, I like that.
What is going on? But it was a birthday party apparently, where people get drunk and paint. It was all the same painting, a bottle of wine in a shoe, and they were getting absolutely lit.
That sounds awesome.
That
Did you
is
say,
an interesting concept?
ladies, paint me?
Oh, you should have been the human canvas, Rico. They would have 100% painted you.
Then I got naked and sat at the bar for an hour, and my meal
Nothing
was
happened.
No one pulled on anything.
Yeah.
They didn't stretch you?
Yeah.
It'd be great if a random brand of Puerto Rican gypsies came in and were like, stretch him.
I'm going on. I checked Craigslist for the Richmond area gypsies for penis stretching because I'm more of a grower, not a shower. So, but no response yet. So,
well, just give it a couple days. Did you actually post it? 'Cause I would like you to.
No.
Now you have to pay to post on Craigslist.
Oh no. Oh,
That's
Craigslist.
bullshit. I like one
Is
thing.
it Puerto Rican Craigslist or the U.S. one?
That's the only one I post on, so I'm not sure the other ones.
Are you saying we only have to pay to pull on your wiener?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I have to pay.
Yeah, Rico pays.
You pay, we pull.
The Tuggy pays.
Yeah, you pay.
That's
we
a great
pull.
business idea. In fact, let's rebrand the show again. You pay. We pull.
You pay, we pull. Oh, I'm killing it tonight.
What do you guys think of jerk off Jerry curl guy Skipper or Skippy? There's a character that you just
before.
Okay. What?
Who was
What?
like he was when I was talking about Miranda being such a bitch, and he was like trying to
at the
talk
bar.
to her, and he said something and she took offense to it, and then he's like, I didn't mean it like that, and then she took offense to that, and then she was
That was super annoying, yeah.
And I'm like, why are you trying so hard? She's ugly and she's not nice. Like, what are you doing, pal?
But you know
So-
what? At the
it's
end of
so
the day, I
ugly.
think that he got to fuck her. So
Well,
He did?
It's a lesser.
Well, they were making out in the episode, right? I'm pretty sure they ended up banging.
I'm
She
pretty
grabbed
sure
out of
she
that
did.
Jerry curl.
It's because short-haired women watch the show.
And to be clear, he's a white guy with a Jerry curl and glasses who's like a poet or something stupid. Oh, it's funny in the opening scene they introduce him like, here's jerk off Jerry, the Jerry curl boy, and he's like, yeah, I just can't find a nice girl. These women suck. And then he's got it on his old school computer. This is like the 90s computers. It's like Mad Magazine relaunches. It's like what he's reading.
That was yeah. You're like, oh, Mad Magazine had a
oh,
website.
That's who the girl's husband looks like. Alfred E. Newman, come to life.
Yes.
Oh,
I
that's
was
why.
trying to think. Yeah.
Totally.
See.
So he cracked me up. His weak character cracked me up. I also thought it was interesting that Samantha, so she goes to the club and talks to Mr. Big, who turns her down for sex. She's like, I work in PR. I have a key to, by the way, I work in PR, and it makes me angry when I see people like her that are like, I work in PR. I have a key to the lower part of this club. I'm like, they're not giving you a key to the fucking fuck room of the club, bitch. But she offers to fuck Mr. Big in the bottom of the club, and he gives her a cigar, and he's like, I only smoke Cohibas. And she's like, ooh. So she lights it up and puffs on it. Then he turns her down for fucking. And I don't know if you guys caught this. She takes a nice long drag of the cigar, which has gone out. And she goes, and then she exhales nothing. You notice that?
No, she like this is good smell.
It was like the crooner. It was like the crooner Netflix show. Oh God, I think you should leave. No, you guys don't watch that show? I'm sure some of our audience is enjoying it. Hello, live watchers. Thank you for joining us.
Cheers.
Oh, so funny. But I did like I like the show overall. This first episode not as good as usual, but it's short. It's a 30-minute show. The
I like that.
Fine.
I like
Yeah,
it's a 30-minute
good.
show. It's a quick one. I watched like the second one and then I fell asleep midway through the third.
You had nudity within the first 60 seconds.
You can't beat it. It's a good show. Who knows how long? There's so many crap shows in the world. Watch this show. It's good. It's nice. You'll be entertained, I imagine. HBO spent a lot of money making it at the time.
Yeah.
When did the show come? Was
I
it
like
in the 90s?
I like that.
Yeah, I swear
started in the
I saw
90s.
this in
Yeah.
college.
It's old. Yeah, it's from I think 98 was the first
All right.
episode.
I definitely watched it.
Early
in college.
2000. I remember having a girlfriend and she watched the show and I don't even remember that girlfriend's name anymore. It's like it's so old.
And she's watching live right now.
So old. No, I don't think so.
So what girls do with this?
She's dead.
They assign
No. She's I don't even know which one.
Killed by Rocco Siffredi's syphilis-riddled cock.
She might
like so many other women.
Oh yeah. That's what this show though, the two shows that we watch kind of have a connection where one is a dude who wants to do women so hard and he's in porn. And then the kind of reversal of that where women go, oh no, we want to be in power. We want to do sex. And then the men are kind of our pawns based on what we want.
I'll tell you the problem with women fucking like men. And I'll tell it to you very simply. And it's scientific. Ready? Here's what the problem with that is.
Hit me.
Men get STDs at a far, far lower rate than women. Because your vagina, that's all just like goo tissue, ladies. Our dick, there's one little tiny hole that's the stuff can get in. And
life isn't
you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Because, we're just shooting disease at you all the time. So
yeah,
limit your partners.
Avoid it. Well, or,
or use condoms.
We're looking for sponsors, Magnums, or what's it called? Trojans.
Well, our old sponsor was the Sponge, but as Elaine on Seinfeld expressed, can't find them anymore. So we're looking for a new sponsor.
No, we're not sponge worthy.
Not sponge worthy. The Sponge. So if you guys were going to say women like to do the quizzes, like Harry Potter, what house would you be in? Which character are you on Sex and the City? Are you a Carrie? Are you Miranda? Are you and I'll explain. Miranda obviously is the redheaded, annoying, ugly person. Carrie is the lead writer, ugly, annoying person.
Who are we
Samantha
asking?
is the older sex demon, and Charlotte is the conservative hottie that I don't think you ever get to see her boobs during the entire run of the show.
I'm the
No,
annoying person.
That's what I remember about this show, because I've seen far too many episodes.
But you never get to see Charlotte's tits?
No.
I know. It's one long blue
That's why I'm
balls.
so angry about
This
it.
is why Rocco Siffredi's balls were actually bleeding. Not from fucking women, from wanting to see Charlotte's boobs and never getting to.
This whole show's connected. That's right.
It's electricity, man.
Yeah,
Just
man,
like
we got
just like
we got
in Supersex.
explosions in our crotches, man. Like
We're all it's crotchular dynamics.
it's
It's semen string theory. All right,
semen rope theory.
semen rope. What have you been doing? Shooting semen rope theory.
Nice.
All right, Rico, who are you on Sex and the City?
Well, I wish I could say I'm who's the old one?
Samantha.
Samantha. I wish I could say
Claudio.
Unfortunately, I'm not. Wish.
We all know who you are.
Not Miranda.
You are Miranda. You're 100% Miranda.
I'm a Claudio. I wear a helmet when I do sex.
Rico, you complain all the time. You have the same haircut. You're 100% Miranda.
You look like her, man.
It's my 2 weeks notice right now.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm her too, though. I'm her too.
Okay, who do you think
likes
you
me.
are?
Whatever. Like,
I would have said I'm more Charlotte.
A prude?
Yeah.
All right, I can see that. I can see that.
Type.
You're way more of a Miranda, though.
Yeah, I'm the one that thinks that I look good, but I don't. And then people should want me, but they don't.
And you like to talk.
Yeah, which one is that? It's all
Carrie.
of them.
So you're Carrie.
I'm all of them, right?
Yeah. I'll go with. I'll also say I'm a Carrie.
Yeah. I like you, but I won't do you.
Yeah, I'm a Carrie. I'll go out. I'll go out and I can write 4,000 words on why I didn't get laid. But yet I'll pull in some random hot tale once in a while. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. We look at it every time we see it. I can see why you. Yeah, that's why you didn't get laid, because that's how you look.
The world conspired against you.
That's right.
Same
it's like, no, I dropped my razor. I swear I would look
I wake
better.
up after when I was single. After every time a girl didn't call me back, I'd text the two. I'd say, "Where did I go wrong? Mimosas at 12?" ?
She's like, yeah, 12 mimosas. That's where you fucked up. You shouldn't have drank so much.
You know what? Actually, I'll end this on a true story. One time, I went out and got shit blitzed in the morning, just out of my gourd drunk. And I forgot 100% that I made plans with a girl later that evening. So she calls me and I'm hammered and she was like, "What are you drunk?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm drunk, whatever." She's like, "I can't believe this." I'm like, "Fuck off." And I hang up the phone and I go to sleep, take a nap at 1 p.m. as you do. And I wake up at 5 p.m. to my phone ringing and somebody banging on my door. It's like, what the fuck? I go to the door and it's this chick. Still showed up. It's there. I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And she's like, "We have a date." I'm like, "All right, well, I got a shower." Go sit on the couch.
I got a shower now. I'm pissed off.
And so we went out. We go out that night. And then we go back to her place. And I'm lying in bed. And whatever we ate, I'm filled with gas. And I'm holding my farts in. And then right as I think she's like, she's asleep. And I'm right as I'm falling asleep. It slipped out. But it didn't slip out. It was like... And I was like, "Ooh," and I sat straight up. It was like, "Ooh, how do I talk my way out of this?" And she was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Oh, I had a nightmare." And then she just went back to sleep.
I had a nightmare. I went on this date with you. Why did you marry her?
I didn't go on a date with her after that.
You married her.
Can't believe
Sandy. It's your wife.
How do you not go for
what a wonderful way to end our sextacular.
How have you been farting on dates the whole time?
I was trying to hold it in.
Good thing you didn't
All
fart
right,
on the
what do you-
on the podcast.
No, of course not.
No.
Not that you've heard. So what do you give it? What do you give Sex in the City?
I like it. I give it a solid maybe 8 out of 10. Keep watching. It's fun. It's enough seasons. It'll keep people enjoyed, I think. And then they made a movie. So how bad can
They
it
made a couple
be?
movies, and they brought it back. It's on again now.
Brought it
Maybe
back.
we
People
should
love
review
it.
the first episode of the new show at some point. Not soon though. Down the road.
Yeah. After we do all the other new shows of every other show.
Yeah.
So.
Rico, what about you?
4 out of 10.
4 out
I
of
didn't
10.
like it.
Wow, that's low.
Yeah.
Rico
I give it
hated
a seven- I give it a
everything.
seven- I give
Rico
it a
hated
7
everything.
7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. I think it gets better as it goes along. 7 out of 10 for now. What are we doing next episode, guys?
Who knows?
Not shitty shows. How about that? I don't know.
Well,
You know.
do you want to do Double Dare for the old show?
Sure. What, is that watchable? Is it on things?
Yeah, it's got to be for sure. Hold on, let me go into my sheets. I've got our document here. And by the way, those of you out there watching, thank you for watching. If you want us to talk about a show,
Where's
let us know.
Is A-Team available? We should watch that.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if it's available. We could definitely put it on there though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. For news shows, Fallout on Prime, I think starts up. That could be really fun.
Put
What's
that
that
down.
That's like
about?
it's based off a video game of like this post-apocalyptic future, and April 12th. So that's we can do that. Let's do a Fallout for our next one. It's like this people living in a bunker.
I can't believe
and
they're doing a Fallout show.
It looks good. The trailer looks good, man. It's got the guy in Walton Goggins is in it, who I love. He was in Justified as the bad guy. Fucking dude's awesome.
I think the premise
Oh,
of the
yeah,
game is that you just kind of wake up in a post-apocalyptic world and you have to go out there and find stuff after a nuclear bomb went off.
Well, it's that, but it's also like in this kind of happy-go-lucky world where everything's kind of positioned as though like, la, 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 but then it's like mutant monsters. So I don't know. Let's watch Fallout for the new episode on Amazon Prime.
Cool.
That'll be perfect. And then an old show, here's what I've wrote down. Double Dare, Gilmore Girls, American Gladiators, Mr. Belvedere, and the Norm Macdonald Show.
I go American Gladiators. Because it's got to be connected. American Gladiators would survive in the Fallout realm.
All right. Rico, you know that?
That's fine. I don't know how we connect the Norm Macdonald show to something, but I want to. So we'll do
We
that
can connect
one
it to something
maybe
somehow.
next time.
All right. Next, 2 times from now, Norm Macdonald Show. Next episode, we will be reviewing Fallout, brand new on Amazon Prime, and American Gladiators. All right. Rico, take us out with your classic exit line.
It was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good,
It
though.
could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!